Peace to the family, peace to the gods. As you can see, I got some of that new Supermind tea. It's not going to be our official label, but it is what we have right now. How do I feel? Listen. Before I get into all of that, you know what I'm talking about? Let's take some time for a second. Let's take some time for a second and think a little bit. There's so much existing and happening in the world right now, simultaneously at all times, right? There's beheadings, there's lynchings, there's assassinations, all of these things that are happening that you could be inundated in your daily life. And I like to draw back, and I like to think even beyond to understand the time that we're living in. And I've been teaching this, and I know you all have been paying attention to it. What did I say the time that we live in? I said we're in a solar cycle 25. And I said July 4th, things will heat up. And I said the reason that I was teaching about solar cycles and the effects of solar radiation on the planet and all of these high-level cosmic concepts that our original ancient people mentioned is because when things are happening outside and there's chaos, you should not be surprised, you should be aware. So now that things are happening exactly as I predicted them to happen, because I'm aware of the cosmic cycle, not the news cycle, then I would be a fool to be caught up in the news cycle. I spoke about cognitive warfare, right? And narrative warfare that will be play out. And I've taught those videos. I put them out there for free. Gave away the game so that you all would not be caught up in the news cycle because you have awareness of the cosmic cycle. So now that we're in this space to where instead of being asked questions about developing one's consciousness and how to solidify a space for yourself in this new world that is being built out, we're stuck in the news cycle because we don't have awareness of the cosmic cycle. And this is very important because things are going to continue to heat up. It's a new reality that we're in because there's nothing slowing down anytime soon. So over the next 11 years, if you're not prepared for these things, you understand me? If you're not prepared for the new world that we're now entered into, then you're going to be crying and begging that things slow down and things go back and hopefully we get a new normal. And unfortunately, there is no new normal coming to you in the capacity in which you think of that we're going backwards. We're not anymore. Listen. The things that they're announcing on TV, the hate that's being filled in the algorithm, the tactics of the elites that are playing out, they're so intelligent. They're so intelligent, and for the most part, you will be caught up on them. I'm gonna leave you out with this one little soundbite, right? As I'm gonna take a sip of some of my Supermind coffee. I want you to think about the recent events that occurred. If you can't see the script, then you don't know the movie, right? Me, I read the script to the movie already. So as it plays out in reality, I'm not surprised by the next scene, right? I'm not surprised by the next scene. The thing about this particular movie is nobody gets to decide the ending. The other day was, I seen how George Floyd and Charlie Kirk have the same birthday. Now, I'm not going to get deep into this because I want to do a breakdown on this. But just think about this. They have the same birthday. And then I seen people saying that, hey, this is going to be the new Malcolm or new Martin Luther King, the white people's Martin Luther King. Again, none of these things will get me angry. Because when you know the game and you know the script, you already know what the enemy is preparing to play out. I said, this is crazy, right? What do they want to get people fearful of speaking? They put a knee on his neck. They put a bullet in the other neck. Same day. One people start canceling the other for racism. The other people start canceling each other for lack of morality and sympathy and empathy. It's an inverse reality. It's a game that the elites play. And the people get caught up in it. First you play it on the blacks, then you play it on the whites. And the only ones who win in this game, particularly, is the elites, because we seen that TikTok was just taken over by the American oligarch. And TikTok was, especially in its early stages and to this day, where the young people able to congregate and share information outside of the control of the elite. And instead of people being in outrage about that, they're outraged about things that don't actually matter. Yeah, it's chaos magic. The chaos magic is to keep the people locked up. So here's the thing. You play chaos. The vice president comes on TV and says, we're not talking no more unity with the left. They're just throwing directions left and right. It spells. As soon as you look to the right, it tells you it's the left. You look to the left, it's the right, and your head is just stuck and there's no focus. It's all chaos magic. How do you inverse reality? How do you take symbols and reverse them? How do you take the things that black people passionately have poured energy into, then reverse those symbols, you understand me, to create chaos on those people and to unleash chaos in their mind? Take the things that have the greatest swelling of energy that is connected to their passions and their traumas, trigger them while reversing it, then taking that same magic and position it over to another people to use it. So woke to anti-woke. They switched the cancel culture over. You understand me? They talking about having new civil rights heroes. But see, that only works, and I ain't gonna get too deep right now, but that only works because they know that there's a particular subscription of reality that many people are subscribed to, and that the symbols of those subscriptions are attached to many people's faith and beliefs, and most of the time, it's not complex enough. And I'll give you this game. If you ever wanted to become a hacker, there's a society called DEFCON 19. There's multiple societies, but in this one particular one, they would talk about how when you want to like break in somebody's house, most keys or most doors are not made that complex. Most of them are all made with the same design, meaning that if you can break into one house, then you can break into the next if you learn how to pick a lock, because they're not that complex. It's factory ordered. They send out thousands of them. And therefore, when you learn how to break into one, you just learn how to break into a million. And one of the techniques is creating an impression. You create an impression and it allows you to make a mode of a key. And then once you have this blank key in this mode, you can just open. And the thing about it is, that is how the mind of the people is. If I can decide, and I can take you through factory setting education, factory setting media, right? I can take you through, give you factory setting politics and factory setting language. When I want to manipulate the minds of those people, I give you factory setting symbols and religion. I know exactly what to trigger you. I know exactly how to open you. I know exactly how to impression you. I know exactly how to control you. And so this is the reality that we've been dealing with in America, is that the working class, the main street of America, right, has a factory setting mind that is easy to manipulate because they control the symbols, the education, the environment, the media, the heroes that you look up to. So they can manipulate those images and those languages. Then they know how to create chaos in your reality. And those of us who have a level of complexity are harder to manipulate because that complexity is too dynamic for them to change whenever they want to. They don't know what symbols unlock your mind. But this is what they're doing. They're studying the patterns of our minds and things of that nature to try to get better and better and better at it. And unless you take a reset and you say, whoa, wait a minute. I just got caught up in this thing. Y'all almost had me. You almost had me. And this is why consciousness in this age is not like, it's not a subject of just spirituality. You understand me? It's not a subject of metaphysics. Right? It should now become the plain language of the average person. Because if you don't develop a level of complexity, then you yourself don't have the ability to control your mind. And so you have their images in your mind, their conversations in your mind, their symbols in your mind. They know when you sleep, when you wake up, what you watch, what you read, what you don't. They have a script for you already, so they can count for, okay, when we do this attack, 30% of them are going to respond like this. Another 10% are going to respond like this. 50% are going to respond like this. Are you complex enough to be the glitch that they can't account for? Or do you come on here and you ask the same questions that they know? They're going to ask about this, they're going to ask about this, this, and this, because this is what we put in front of them to see. Do not look where they want you to look. That's the magician's trick. That's how you pull the coin from behind your ear. Be careful of the sleight of hand. Because the mind is not really good at paying attention to two things at once. Be careful of the sleight of hand. This is what you're dealing with every single day. It looks like it's magical. It's just them understanding the way the brain works. That's it. The magician just understands the way the brain works. So somebody bump into you, your brain register all attention to that side, while at the same time cutting off numbness to one side while they're going in your pocket, taking your money. Be careful. It's just brain patterns. It's just cognition. And it requires a certain level of mastery for you to not be caught up in it, because you're not going to reconfigure the way that the brain works. So if you don't have a level of consciousness today, it's not something that the conscious and the woke brothers talking about, man. It's something that everybody on the planet gonna need. Otherwise, you just give up to be one of the minds that are just controlled by whatever happens. And how does that feel? How does it feel to be in the social media world, caught up in stories that normally shouldn't bother you as much? Caught up in the chaos magic of the manipulators of consciousness, controlling your stress levels and your anxiety levels. How does that feel? How does it feel to be in a state of consistent unease, worried about things that are drawing away from your energy to make decisions in your actual real life that do matter to you? How does it feel to have your attention drawn away from focusing on your financial capabilities, from focusing on your mental dexterity and strength and cognitive flexibility? So by the time it feels like you want to be productive in your own life, you don't have the capacity. That does not feel good. So, and it will not be easy for you to draw your mind out of the chaos. Only a few will become masters in this world. And all I'm asking you to do is master yourself. The things that you already do, master it. The things that you know you're good at, master it. There are so many things that I want to consistently teach the world. And I have to ask myself, are they ready for that though? And not that you don't have the capability of learning, but the first thing I had to learn was learning how to learn. Don't you know, today I'm probably the worst person at asking for things. So I'm the type of person that will literally go learn how to ask for things and get a yes. Like, I treat myself like a machine sometimes, but also as a being of consciousness that has to get better at different areas within his own brain structure. And today, the reason that I'm teaching cognitive security and cognitive warfare, because it's the most important. If I've identified that as important, not because it's going to make me the most money, because it's the most important. And these things are always in conflict because I'm a man that has to pay bills and take care of family and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I cannot ignore what God puts on my mind to tell the people. So if we don't treat cognition as an asset, that you're protecting it, that before you get on this app and you download what they want you to upload, be careful. Because the mind is the new battlefield. You worrying about wars out there when the war is in here. The war is in here. You all may notice I pushed some of the tour dates back, and the reason is because I have to finish this vision that I've been given to produce these bodies of work, these books to the people, because then I would feel like I'm not doing my job, because I can't teach a people who lose in the war within. Having a moment with them is not enough. Do not worry so much about what their plans are. Be aware of what their plans are. But be more focused on what your plans are and let them be worried about yours. I posted on my story, and I'm going to leave with this. And I hope that you all pay attention to it. The brother was giving a breakdown. That's my first sip of Supermind for the day. But he was giving a breakdown. He said, do not use your imagination to imagine failure. Don't use your imagination to imagine a negative outcome. Do not employ your imagination for such things. That is when you're using your mind against you, and your enemy is satisfied with the use of your mind. Do not use your mind to imagine your failure, to imagine negative outcomes. That is the greatest use that the enemy loves for you to use your mind. That is why he shares failure. This is why he shares trauma to your mind, because it is so powerful that if I can use you to use your mind to destroy you, then you've done the work for me. Your mind should only be fed with strategic imagination, things that produce a greater outcome of reality, the reality that you want to be seated. Anything else is a failure of the mind to protect its user. So when I say the mind is the battlefield, remember that. When you come to the tour, you will be learning how to use your mind, how to protect your mind. In an age and day where people want to be financially, spiritually, physically, mentally successful, everything starts in here. And I need you to stop using your mind for the enemy's outcome. And I need you to start imagining your own. If you will, go try out, as you see these bags in the background. I don't know if you can still hear me. But go ahead and get you some of that Supermind. This is part of our cognitive ritual daily, that we are boosting our brain power, energizing our brain, specifically in this age, because when you're stressed out and your brain is of low energy, that's when it is easy to be swayed and manipulated. It is very important. I took my magnesium today, my Tongkat Agli today. You understand me? And now in here, we have the lion's mane, the reishi, the turkey tail, the cordyceps, and some cinnamon. You understand me? It's a Supermind cocktail. Comment Supermind. Go grab yours. More to come. I was just watching a video that I did 4 years ago about learning how to learn. And I've learned so much since then. So we're going to be doing a part 2 on that. And I'll let you know about that as well. Peace to the family. Peace to the gods. I'll check in with y'all later. Appreciate y'all tapping in for some of that quick coffee time. Man, I appreciate you. Yeah, the tea, we had to do the tea because everybody been asking about it. This is one of my favorites. So we're constantly tweaking them, making them better. This is a journey of ours. You understand me? I love it. It's great. It smells good, tastes good. All our products, we wanted to make sure that you didn't need like milk and you didn't need sugar and things of that nature. You can take it straight out the can. Peace to the family. Peace to the gods.